What it do, peeps? Next on Watch the Damn Tape, I'm going to get into Cathy Engelbert's task force, Chiney Ugwumike's oath to Angel Reese, and Elle Duncan's lashing out at Caitlin Clark fans and how they all tie together. Next. What it do, peeps? It's the Beat Chef with Watch the Damn Tape. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe button. Hit that bell to get notified when I drop my next video. New subscribers, I thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the show. Old subscribers, thank you for helping me build this platform and keep pushing out this content. I've been sitting on this one for a while because when it comes to the WNBA, ESPN, Nike, etc., everything all comes in phases. It all comes in threes because all three of them are in cahoots with one another. ESPN, the league, and of course Nike. But today we're just going to focus on ESPN and Cathy Engelbert because it's a method to their madness. First, let's get into what Elle Duncan had to say about Caitlin Clark fans.
And that's the worst part of all this, is the new fans are sucking the life out of the WNBA right now. It's just the truth. You are right. You are right, new fans. There has never been more viewership because of Caitlin Clark. There's never been more attention. They're doing 40 minutes on First Take about Caitlin Clark. They never did that before, as Monica Mcnutt called out. You're right. But you know what there was in the WNBA last year and the years prior? There was other storylines. There was joy. There was talk of competition. There was talk of what was actually happening on the court. Who the hell is this?
Now, excuse me, with what Elle Duncan had to say. You got to understand, Elle Duncan, the league is 90% black. They're going to do their best to appease the largest stakeholders in the WNBA, and that's black women. So any praise given to Caitlin Clark will be with a side of her predecessors, the Cheryl Swoops, the Lisa Leslie's, etc., so on and so forth. They're going to always do that. They're never going to stop doing that, ever. If they mention Caitlin Clark on a show, if Stephen A. Smith, and you'll see this throughout the league year, if Stephen A. Smith mentions something about Caitlin Clark, Andraya Carter or Chiney is going to mention something about another player that's currently playing. They're going to say, but what about A'ja Wilson? It's going to be something. They're going to add that to the conversation. That's what they're paid to do. They're going to do that. Now, let's get into the oath that Chiney gave to Angel Reese.
And you mentioned how you stand up for other. It is, and you mentioned how you stand up for other people. I want you to know that we stand for you.
Thank you.
Sis, your fans, they're not to be played with.
Thank you.
We do, and we know you carry a lot of weight and you represent so much, but we love what you have brought to the game. And I feel like a lot of people on the outside are saying, oh, this person gets the credit, that person's for us. We got you.
Yeah.
Period.
Thank
Period.
You. Thank you.
And after LSU.
Now with this one is basically, we got your back. The sisterhood got your back, Angel. Whenever they attack you, whenever they talk about your game, we're going to do whatever it takes to do this. You got to understand, women do not hold women accountable. So anytime you criticize one of these players' games, they're going to call it hate. That's just how they're going to do it. It's never going to change. It's going to be like that until they get some of this old thinking out the league and they fire some of these women that are on ESPN, period. That's it. Until that happens, you'll see more of this going on. The third piece of this was the Cathy Engelbert angle, the task force. And this is going to tie all three pieces together. You know, she wanted to ensure that the WNBA remains a space where everyone, players, fans, and corporate partners can feel safe, valued, and empowered. The task force features a four-pronged approach. She added monitoring social media and other digital platforms using advanced technology solution to detect comments and threats, strengthening conduct standards across WNBA platforms, including in arenas, added security measures at the league and team levels, and continued services of dedicated mental health clinicians for players. And then she said multiple NBA players spoke out last season. This is the devil in the details. Multiple NBA players spoke out last season about an uptick in racist, misogynistic, anti-gay, and otherwise vitriolic rhetoric directed to them over social media, and there were also incidents that occurred outside of those online platforms. This was the truth being spoken in a weird way. What this league ultimately has a problem with, it has to do with this right here. WNBA viewership demographics seeing massive shifts across categories, and this is from the Wall Street Journal. This was from July 23 of 2024. On ESPN networks, girls 2 to 17 are up 181%, and viewers aged 18 to 34 are outpacing the league's total growth by 54 percentage points, according to ESPN. In 2023, about 50% of WNBA viewers had watched the NCAA women's basketball tournament, but so far this year, about 80% of the WNBA viewers also watched the tournament. Bachman noted the influx of college fans is contributing to another big shift in WNBA viewership. It's gotten whiter. Non-Hispanic white viewers have grown 156% year over year on ION and 301% on ESPN networks. The audience for the NCAA women's tournament on ESPN networks is about 71% white compared with the 55 for the WNBA games, according to early season data. Still, black viewers watch the WNBA in far greater proportion than the 13 overall share of the U.S. population. Black viewers make up 34% of the WNBA viewership of ESPN networks based on data from early this season, and 45% of ION's viewers. Excuse me. Men are a large and growing part of the WNBA's TV audience, making up 60% of ESPN networks in WNBA viewers. They are about 55% of ION's WNBA viewers, up from 50% last year. On CBS, male viewers 18 and older now make up 54% of WNBA viewers, up from 48%. See, it's a product geared towards women, but women aren't into basketball, women's basketball in particular, on that level. If more people are coming in, that means the majority of the people coming into the game are men. And men don't have a problem voicing their opinion. And that's why you're seeing so many platforms pop up that are covering sports. In particular, Caitlin Clark. Men appreciate Caitlin Clark. We appreciate good basketball. So men that follow the game from college or heard about her and heard how she can shoot started watching. The WNBA is primarily geared towards women, but women don't watch the product. They, in tune, can't sell products. We're not buying tampons. We're not buying pantyhose. We're not going to buy Cameron Brink's New Balances. All those shoes are geared towards women. But if women aren't watching the product, they can't sell the product. This is the number one reason besides the racism angle that ESPN pushes, why these women will never give Caitlin Clark her credit. Because if they give Caitlin Clark the credit, it discourages the other larger majority of the league, and they can't sell the product as a whole. That's why they keep on saying, yeah, Caitlin Clark did this, and Angel Reese did this, and Asia Wilson, and you can't forget about so and so. It's like an award show, and you're trying to remember everybody you want to thank. That's how they treat this, and that's the reason why. Because advertisers want the entire league, even though we know Caitlin Clark is the generator and the catalyst now for the league. They're still pushing against that. And that's the whole reason why you have this task force, and then you have Chanae telling Angel Reese, we got your back, and Elle Duncan attacking them. She said the new fans, because she knows she lied about the numbers when it came to the draft and came up with a cockamamie excuse to go from the 2025 draft ratings and skip it all the way to 2023. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. She still has to toe that line. She still can't give Caitlin Clark that credit because she still has to sell it like the league is growing and the viewership for the entire league is growing. No, the viewership for the league is going like real low, and Caitlin Clark's popularity is up here. And they all benefit, but they don't want it that way. They want it to be like this, and it'll never be that way. It'll never be that way, and they're going to go out of their way. You can definitely tell the power of Caitlin Clark. Shout out to Ken Swift on Twitter. He posted these numbers, and here they go. The number 2 selling jersey in 2024 belongs to that very young lady, Caitlin Clark. There's not another female in that list. Now, I haven't seen a bunch of guys wearing Caitlin Clark jerseys, but I have seen men with them hanging. Jason Whitlock's got it. John the Liquidator, shout out to him. He's got a Caitlin Clark jersey. There's a few other podcasters that have Caitlin Clark memorabilia. I got Caitlin Clark memorabilia as well. We're the main consumers of these jerseys. Women aren't buying WNBA jerseys. Women are buying men's jerseys. That's what they have a problem with. They want their product to be sold on the level of the men. I mean, you think about it. If the WNBA jerseys were selling like hotcakes, then the Unrivaled League would have had their jerseys at the beginning of the season instead of the last month, and they didn't get them really till the last 2 weeks of the season and getting them sold online. That's why I know their jersey sales are fake, because they had t-shirts for $30-something and none of their t-shirts sold out. So I know you didn't sell out millions of thousands of jerseys, and you didn't make millions of dollars in jersey sales. It's impossible when Paige Becker's jersey is still on the Dallas Mavericks website. I mean, the Dallas Wings website, still for sale. And I've seen verifiable proof that women are walking around with Paige Becker's jerseys. I haven't seen an Angel Reese Rose jersey yet. I looked. I haven't seen any sign of it, but that's the thing that they're worried about. They're worried about men coming into their space and them losing their voice. And mark my words, you'll start seeing some stories probably the first month of the season as Indiana travels. The first road game Indiana travels, there will be several people kicked out of that game just for cheering against the home team. You heard it here first. Mark my words, and you'll see the league put out a statement and say something about it, and it probably will be something out like "you suck" or something like that. They don't want to hear nothing. They would rather everybody come to the game and just be silent. And if they really had their choice, they would rather have the entire crowd be all women. That's the reason why Unrivaled had such a small audience. Basically, they're filming in a film production studio in a warehouse, and they had as many bleachers as a small 3A high school in Texas. So that was the reason why, with that canned audience they had, but that's a whole nother topic. That's what they would want. That's what they ideally want in this league. They do not want the opinions of men. That's why Monica Mcnutt went so hard at Stephen A. Smith when he started talking about Caitlin Clark. She had to turn that off because she had to shift the narrative to the entire league, not just one person. But we know one person really controls this league. If Caitlin Clark retired today, the sponsors would pull out and this league would tank. If Caitlin Clark misses a game this season, watch the ratings for that game and watch the attendance. Watch them doop and watch them not make mention of it. But that's what it is. It's all about marketing. They want to market the league as a whole. They don't want one player to be the face of it. They don't want that white girl to be the face of it. They do not want a white woman to be the face of this league. Not in the predominantly all black league. They just don't want that. That's the God's honest truth. That's it. And they'll do whatever it takes, and they will put as much pressure on that Cathy Engelbert, and she's already bowed to their request, so she's at their will now. When she said that comment last year about the magic bird and the race thing, they didn't like that because they don't want to be challenged for attention in this league, and damn sure not by Caitlin Clark. And she's a phenomenon that they've never seen before. They've never gotten this much buzz from any marquee player coming out of college. No Candace Parker, no Maya Moore. Nobody brought the fanfare like Caitlin. They can't stand it. They want the money. They want the attention, but they want the attention on themselves. And those women at ESPN will do anything in conjunction with the WNBA Players Association and Cathy Engelbert to get that done. But I'd love to know your thoughts on the topic. Leave your comments below, and until next time, folks, peace.